One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo slave ship. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Paint Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate African soul niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We live in bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't me murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, rank and order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose by the Lord, we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wasn't with us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be truthful. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead. First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. Came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. everybody ain't with all that. Let bygone be. Boy, ass need to stop it, ass need to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the profits, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I tell you once, won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed it up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know it's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settle. Yeah, see the props. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need the props. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know what I'm saying? They say God so loved the world. God so loved the world and know boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need the props. Give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass shit. Oh, wrong with step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go, let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just pay with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep me slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, got your baby pass through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby so belong to the Lord. I dare you abort it. Therefore will failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Plus your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop it, ass see the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years. Right. But that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Hey, hey, yeah, hey, hey. Fuck wrong with you, boy? You know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in, yeah. But that was my niggas, yeah. I'm in it, yo. Got my nigga Rewan with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding general, your honor. That for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Look, hey, straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, thank you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talk the shit, yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid, number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start steppin'. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them, I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, the shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted.
is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shah, Rocket Thumb, Yahweh Shema Thumb, Shem Shah, Priest and Officer, I'm on Bar, Tuesday Brotherhood class, ISUPK under Commander Junior Hanna since 1969. We're bringing out the truth, the Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, all the chosen people of God. So like, and, tonight, what we're going to talk about is how did masculinity become toxic? Because somewhere along the lines, we fell off. Somewhere we fell off as a people, and masculinity is now toxic. And the word get thrown around a lot. You feel me? A lot the last few years, Black women specifically have found out about the word toxic masculinity, misogyny, and stuff like that. So we just gonna talk about how did this happen? You feel me? How did this even happen? And I just want to read the definition first of toxic, so you can understand where we're going with this. Toxic definition is containing or being poisonous material, especially when capable of causing death or serious debilitation. Okay, so poison material. They're saying masculinity is poison material, exhibiting symptoms of an infection. This is what you got to understand when you're throwing around these words like toxic masculinity and stuff like that. They're saying that masculinity is now a symptoms of infection. So when they see masculinity, they see it as an infection. Extremely harsh, and that's the third definition, extremely harsh, malicious, or harmful. They're saying that masculinity is harmful. It's harmful to be masculine. And the last one is a toxic substance, usually poisonous. So basically, that's what they're saying. When you hear people say stuff about toxic masculinity, they saying that masculinity is a poisonous trait. It's harmful. Real talk. So if I could, let's go ahead. Let's jump into that first article, the one about what is toxic masculinity.
What is toxic masculinity? Toxic masculinity gets thrown around as a buzzword sometimes, but at its root, it's a multifaceted term to describe harmful masculinity. While toxic masculinity is ingrained in some areas of our culture, identifying it, calling it out, and taking steps to treat it can make for a safer and healthier society.
So they treating masculinity like it's a disease. Like I just said, that's why they calling it toxic masculinity, because they saying it's poison. You feel me? Like it's not good for the community.
Toxic masculinity is an attitude or set of social guidelines.
I knew something was off a little bit. No sign crack.
Set of social guidelines stereotypically associated with manliness.
With the who?
Associated with manliness.
Associated with manliness? Not being a mass murderer? Okay, you gotta understand, it's a mass murderer people forget about named John Wayne Gacy. Real talk. So that ain't toxic masculinity. Ted Bundy, what Ted Bundy did wasn't considered toxic masculinity. All these serial killers, what they did wasn't toxic masculinity. What they saying toxic masculinity is manliness. Just simple as that. And that's why the topic of tonight's class, how did masculinity become toxic? How did this happen? We about to get into it real soon.
that often have a negative impact on men, women, and society in general. The term toxic masculinity isn't meant to imply the idea that masculinity in itself is inherently bad.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's meant to point out that certain behaviors and ways of thinking, often associated with masculinity, from mental and physical toughness.
To go ahead.
To sexism,
homophobia. So sexism, of course, is believing that a man is above the woman. Homophobia is that you don't like gay people. It's just that simple. So they see that you are like basically a manly man, it's toxic masculinity. You believe a woman has her place, that's toxic masculinity. You believe that a man shouldn't be gay, that's toxic masculinity. Real talk.
Have a negative and often dangerous impact on the world. While you may think the term toxic masculinity is a modern buzzword, it's been around for several decades.
That's why I say this is something you just learned. Most women out there, you just learned toxic masculinity maybe last year. But this is something that's been around for several decades.
The term originally came out during the late 20th century men's movement to describe narrow ideas of masculinity that were holding men back instead of empowering them.
Right. So that's one of the times when toxic masculinity first came out. You feel me? When men was trying to make sure men stayed men. You feel me?
They consider toxic masculinity a characteristic of immature men who had not yet found their deep spiritual masculinity.
What is that? What is your spiritual? Okay, so it's cool to be spiritual masculine, but it's not okay to be toxic masculine. That's what they just said. They said if you're a toxic masculine man, that's because you haven't found your inner self. That sounds like some sage and some cards, the card reading. That sounds like a whole bunch of BS. That's all I'm saying. You feel me? Real talk.
This men's movement sought to increase community among men rather than competition. Multi-generational bonding, as if they felt the inability to bond with their fathers was a source of emotional damage. To be free to express emotion.
Mm-hmm. To be free to express emotion.
For all the good things, this movement still contained harmful ideas. Many men felt that their voice had been silenced by the feminist movement.
By the who?
By the feminist movement.
Right. So what you gotta understand about the feminist movement, that was the empowerment of women. So they was trying to combat that with the men's movement. You feel me? And they just got labeled as toxic masculinity. You toxic and you masculine. That's what the women say. Think about all the women fighting for jobs. They fighting to be police chiefs. They fighting to be the head doctor in the hospital. All that stuff that they was fighting for. And then you tell them it's wrong. You should be in your own place. Every woman has their role. They tell you a toxic masculine man. Toxic and it's masculine.
That excessive interaction with women were causing them to lose their internal masculinity.
Hey, no, but that's true though. You feel me? Because iron sharpens iron. You feel me? A woman is not gonna make you more masculine. It's your brothers. Your brothers, being around your brothers, your fathers, your uncles, stuff like that. That's what's gonna make you more masculine, not being around a bunch of women.
And the accusations of sexism from women were leading to emotional damage.
Mm-hmm. And that's why in the workforce, certain jobs was just for men. That's just how it was. It kept the masculinity strong, and it kept sexism not even a part of the job. Like real talk.
The phrase toxic masculinity was later adopted by the fourth wave of feminism.
The who?
The fourth wave
of
feminism.
The fourth wave of feminism. This is damn. The fourth wave.
A wave that started about a decade ago.
Right, about 10 years ago. 10 years ago was the fourth wave of feminism. So they didn't have different surges throughout time. And the fourth one is when that one got adopted again.
This wave focused more on intersectionality than the waves before it. Intersectionality is the idea that sexism is just one part of the systematic oppression, along with ableism, ageism, classism, homophobia, and racism.
Right. So they say intersectionality is a systematic oppression. That's what women say. Women say that intersectionality is a part of oppression, the same way as ableism, ageism, classism, homophobia, and racism. And all these groups help fight for feminism.
It's like, Seth, I mean, what is what they're saying is that masculinity is on the same level as racism?
Yep, that's basically what they're saying. Yep. I'm telling you, that's the rise of the LGBT community, all that. You feel me? All of that is why toxic masculinity is becoming a thing. Feminism, the LGBT community, they trying to destroy masculinity. You feel me? They try to destroy something that was God-given. That's why you keep hearing about toxic masculinity, because they trying to find a way to systematically destroy it.
Toxic masculinity is nuanced, but there are a few behaviors that are often caused by toxic masculinity. Some toxic masculinity examples include homophobia.
Right. So if you don't believe in gay men being having rights and it being legal to be gay, they say you toxic. That's toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity teaches men that homosexuality is a deviation from traditional masculinity and that gay men are less masculine.
Right. And that's true. That's true. So when you say stuff like that, they say, oh, that's just toxic masculinity. So now it's not only feminists saying that, is the, like we said, the LGBT community, the rise in the LGBT, all that, ZW. Damn, they got so many letters. The rise in the gay community. Man, we ain't on TikTok. The faggots. They said it. Well, we can't say the rise in the faggots is right here on the screen. That's what they said. We should be able to say it too. The faggots is the reason why toxic masculinity is becoming a thing, because it's the fourth wave of the feminist movement, which now they is able to join because they faggots.
For example, consider the way terms like gay and faggot were and still are used as insults.
And it still is. You feel me? Real talk. And that's what I'm saying. That's what toxic masculinity is really coming from. The LGBT community. Real talk.
Need for control. Toxic masculinity encourages men to assert their power and dominance.
Right. So when you start showing, you feel me, where you dominant at, you feel me, and expressing it, they say, oh, that's toxic masculinity. Basically, if you believe you know something, if you a man and you believe you know something, you toxic. You poisonous. That's what toxic means, poison.
We see this often in domestic relationships. The 2017 report, The Man Box, found that 34% of men in the U.S. believe they should always have the final say in their relationship.
So if you a man and you believe that you should have the final say in your relationship, you toxic. You're poisonous to the relationship. That's what they saying. You should let the woman have the last word. You should let her have the final decision. When we know women ain't good at that. I mean, just look at what happened when the women got the neighborhood. You got the Bloods and the Crips. How can you forget when the Bloods and the Crips was born? When folks and them was born. Them was single mothers, kids. Go ahead.
And 46% believe that men deserve to know what their girlfriend or wife is at all times.
So if you believe that you should know where your girlfriend or wife is at all times, you're toxic. You're a toxic masculine man. That's what they say.
Promiscuity. Toxic masculinity praises men for having multiple partners.
If you a man and you have more than one woman, you is toxic. That's what they say. This is their definition of what toxic masculinity is. They say this is poison. A man that believes he should have the last say in his relationship, a man that should know where his wife or girlfriend is at all times, and a man that's dealing with more than one woman, they saying you is toxic masculinity and it's bad for the community. That's what they say.
While expressing disgust at women who do the same.
Right, by expressing discussion, women do the same. So basically, we believe in a double standard. You feel me? Toxic masculine men, we believe in a double standard. We believe a woman should only have sex with one man, which is true. And men, if they choose, can have sex with more than one woman. You feel me? Real talk. I think a brother here did a real funny video. He say, look, if a bunch of men put their hand in this cup, I don't want this. But if a bunch of women touch the outside, I'm going to wipe it off and use it again. I say, man, you know what? That's kind of heavy. Because you go to the restaurant and you drink out of cups other people use. But you won't drink out of the water. You ain't drinking the same water they drinking. Like, real talk, that's heavy. But I guess I'm toxic masculine. You know, it is what it is.
Refusing to help with household duties.
Right. Now, and of course, this is just because certain stuff is dictated towards what women usually do. You feel me? Real talk.
Toxic masculinity rejects roles traditionally considered women's work.
Right, because some stuff, that's just how it was. It was considered a woman's job to do that specific thing. And if you think that certain stuff is a woman's job, you're toxic masculine. I'm just letting you know this is what they say.
Toxically masculine men often refuse to participate in these household duties.
Right.
The man box.
I don't know what that is, but I guess it's some type of study or something.
Found that 22% of U.S. men believe they shouldn't have to do household chores. 44% believe they should be sole income earners. And 28% believe that boys shouldn't be taught things like cooking, cleaning, and showering.
Hey, man, that's funny as hell. But we always say that the women definitely is supposed to be the first teachers of the children. Real talk. Now, it ain't nothing wrong with cooking and cleaning, but that has always been associated with what women do. Even a woman will tell you that she don't mind cooking and cleaning. That's why the reason why she got to say she don't mind is because it's always been labeled as a woman's thing. But with this new century that we in, where it's that, I know we all equal and stuff like that. And that's what being toxic masculine is, believing that we not equal. That a man has the last say in his relationship. And he feel like cooking and cleaning is the thing you should do. And it is what it is. You got to count the costs of whatever type of man you're dealing with anyway.
Risk taking. Taking risks and suppression fear is another feature of toxic masculinity.
Right. So if you like to take risks, you consider it a toxic masculine person. You like to take risks.
As a result, men are more likely to abuse drugs, drive dangerously, gamble, and engage in violence.
Engage in violence. Real talk. But the thing about risk taking, a lot of risk taking just comes from just not being scared. The way they added the drugs and all that stuff in, that's feminism right there.
Sexual aggression toward women. Men who have been influenced by toxic masculinity are more likely to believe they're entitled to women's bodies, leading to sexual comments and harassment toward women and a high likelihood of believing rape myths. Right.
So basically, a man that basically is aggressive towards his woman sexually, you toxic masculine. You know, you should be shy in the corner. You know what I mean? I guess, I don't know. I guess you should be shy in the corner. And then when she leave you for somebody else, then what? Because he ain't shy. Because he aggressive. Real talk.
Stoicism, a cornerstone idea of toxic masculinity, is that showing emotion is weak and feminine.
And that's true. Because them be the ones that's abusive. That's who the ones that be abusive, the ones that be too emotional.
Men are expected to be mentally and physically tough without breaking.
That's true. But I guess if you emotional and you always venting to your woman, that's what they want. They want you to be emotional and venting all the time. You go ahead.
So like I said, I mean, this is crazy to me because there's more violence in lesbian relationships.
Yes, than LGBT, period. Right. That's right. Real talk.
Statistics and studies show that men are less likely to pursue mental health services like therapy, despite being 1.8 times more likely than a woman to commit suicide. Violence. Toxic masculinity encourages men to use aggression and violence to assert their dominance in masculinity. The Man Box report found that 23% of U.S. men believe that if needed, men should use violence to get respect.
Right. So you think you should use violence to get respect? You believe that you should be aggressive? You a toxic masculine. How did we get here? Feminist movement. Feminist movement is how we got here. Real talk. So yeah, let's drop that. And let's go to snap. Let's go to misogyny. Let's go to misogyny. The one I had sent you.
Misogyny, hatred, or prejudice against women, typically exhibited by men. It is generally accepted that misogyny is a consequence of patriarchy.
Now, I say misogyny. This is another one. They've been talking about last year or two, hatred or prejudice towards women. That's what they say misogynistic was. But go down to the etymology and historical use. See if this is new, because it seemed like it's new the way y'all just started talking about it.
Etymology and historical use. Misogynistic thought is believed to date back to ancient times.
To who?
Ancient times.
Ancient time. This is ancient. This is ancient. You just not talking about it in 2024.
Aristotle, for example, famously held that women were inferior, deformed versions of men.
Damn, that's rough. That's a white man if I ain't mistaken.
The term was coined in the 17th century and is derived from the Greek.
The who?
The Greek.
The Greek. It's Greek. It's Greek. Misogyny is Greek. It's Greek. It's not nothing you just found out last year. It's Greek. Men have been misogynistic forever. Real talk. And it's just prejudice against women. We believe that a woman has a certain role. And if you don't believe that, if you believe a woman can be a construction foreman, she should be the police chief, the fire chief. If you don't believe that she could do that stuff, then they're going to say you toxic or you misogynistic. And the whole time I go back to the Greeks.
Derived from the Greek mesos, meaning hatred, and June, meaning woman.
I go all the way back to the Greeks and Rome. Real talk. You go ahead.
The use of misogyny as a term to refer to acts of contempt towards women was popularized in the 70s by second wave.
The who?
The
second wave. Remember, we told it was 4 waves. We in the 4th wave right now. That's what right now we're in the 4th wave of the feminist movement. The 2nd wave is when misogyny, you feel me, became a popularized term. You late. You late. Niggas been misogynistic forever from what we reading.
Misogyny was usually distinguished from sexism against women. The former was characterized by violence, such as sexual assault or murder, while the latter manifested more subtly. However, there's a 4th wave of so-called feminism that began in the early 24th century. Misogyny became almost interchangeable with sexism and could be used to indicate biases against women.
Right. So it went from like abuse of women to now it's interchangeable to where it's just bias. So this word, which is a harsh word, because they say it could be used for sexual assault or murder, but now it's interchangeable to where it could just be talking about if you bias on women.
Thus, misogyny acquired multiple meanings that occupy different levels of intensity. Some dictionaries adjusted their entries to reflect this semantic shift. In 2002, the Oxford English Dictionary changed its definition from hatred of women to hatred or dislike of, or prejudice against women. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary later
follow suit. Oxford and Merriam, they changed it to just prejudice against women, when this was really a serious term that was about like assault and murder. When it just now it's just prejudice, but this is some word that go all the way back to the Greeks. Like everything go back to the Greeks. You know the Greeks is white people. Same white people you see in Walmart walking down the street. Them their sons and daughters. The same white people that's in the legislative office. The same ones that wrote the Oxford and Merriam-Webster Dictionary. They the sons and daughters of the Greeks. So your last article, let's go to the one about 48% of women.
48% of women don't want to go back to work.
Who?
48% of women don't want to go back to work.
48% of women don't want to go back to work. So you had the feminist movement. Called us toxic masculine. Say we misogynistic. Say we don't believe in women's rights. We bias. And then after the pandemic, half of y'all ain't even want to go back to work. You ain't even want to go back to work. And I'm telling you, following women, then they say that women can't lead. That's toxic. If you believe women can't lead. You believe a man should have the last say-so in his relationship, you toxic. Nigga, but these same women that fought for all these rights, we in the fourth wave of the feminist movement, and when pandemic happened, they go home and chill and realize they don't really want to be there. They don't really want to clock in, 5 days out the week, 40 hours. The hell out of here. We supposed to listen to y'all. Please. Go ahead.
So like you said, so it took 50 years of terrible neighborhoods and a pandemic.
Yep. 50 years of terrible neighborhood. The Kia boys, you come outside, your car missing. You sitting there like, what happened? What's going on? You did it. You wonder why the Kia boys that took your Hyundai? It's because of you. You wanted to fight for women's rights and to be ruling over the house, and you got it. And now your sons and daughters is out stealing Kias and Hyundais because of TikTok. The hell out of here, man.
We keep saying it, but we'll say it again. Working women have been hit harder by this pandemic than men.
Say it ain't so.
It's estimated that 5 million women lost their jobs in 2020.
5 million women, they lost their jobs because of the pandemic.
We can see more job losses among women now because the world begins to reopen.
They said reopen right now. This is an article from around the time of the pandemic. Just talking about how women really never really wanted to work. That's basically what it's talking about.
Why? Because they've been cornered into other responsibilities, including possibly homeschooling while working remotely.
Right. So one thing women realized during the pandemic is that they never really wanted to work. She told me they became strippers. Hell no. It's a lot. But yeah, that's one thing they realized. They never really wanted to work. All that fighting for women's rights and all that stuff was just to rule over the man. That was a white woman's agenda that they got black women and LGBT men to get on board with.
A new study by Perceptics, an employee listening and people analytics platform, found that compared to 6 months ago, 48% of women are less likely to want to return to their workplace in a full-time capacity.
They don't even want to work. They don't even want to go back. They realize they'd rather sit at home. Because during the pandemic, you got all them damn stimulus checks, all that damn government assistance. They was paying your rent for 3-4 months, all kind of stuff. And when a woman was sitting at home, single women, think about it like this, single women sitting at home during the pandemic, getting all this free money and all this stuff, and they realize that this is the life. What am I doing outside working 5 days out the week when I could just be at home with the kids? They realize that's what they really supposed to be, but they don't got no man to cover the cost. That's the problem. They don't have a man to cover the cost. Go ahead.
Like I said, if I may, sir, I got a question. If anybody listening, with this whole feminist movement and everything, and we're talking about the LGBT community,
right?
When it's a man that dresses up as a woman or as a transgender or whatever, do they lose their male privilege?
I don't know.
Do they lose their patriarchy privilege?
I don't know.
Are they still toxic masculine when they dress up like a woman? Or?
And that's why there's so much confusion. You feel me? And that's why women should just really stay in their place. And I know somebody right now calling me toxic masculine. Somebody that tuned in don't even know that's the whole point. Toxic masculinity is good. It's better than that LGBT stuff y'all done let loose. Y'all done let run rampant.
%62 of women were working on site in pre-pandemic times compared with 57% of male employees. The report also highlights that over 2 million women have left the workforce entirely since the pandemic began.
They left. And I'm telling you why they left. Because when they got them free benefits, stimulus checks, all that stuff for them couple months, they realized that this is really what they supposed to be. But they ran the man out the house. They ran them out the house and they fought for all these women's rights. So now we have to have a 2-person household working to sustain all the bills. You fucked up. All you women that fought for women's rights and all that stuff, we in the 4th wave of it. So that means it's been 40, 50 years. Y'all done fought for women's rights and you played yourself. Because now you want to sit at home, but you can't because you need 2 people to work to even pay the bills.
While it's shocking that more than 2 million women have left the workforce as a result of the pandemic, it's not that surprising that a majority of women looking for a hybrid work arrangement will prefer to spend fewer days in the office than their male counterparts.
Now they want to spend fewer days when they was marching to work. Now they ready to spend fewer days.
Vicky Salemi, career expert at Monster, told Gold Bank and Race, caregiving responsibilities, whether for children or for elderly parents, consistently falls to women. Now more than ever, women need to tell it like it is.
Hold on, wait. It said a career expert said caregiving and responsibilities, whether for children or elderly parents, consistently falls to women. I thought that was misogynistic and toxic, man. Look, y'all better make y'all mind up. That's what y'all better do. So like, and it say Vicky Salamini. This is her. This is Vicky. This is what she say. Who was that? A white woman? It's a white girl. This is what Vicky say. So like, hold on, wait. So like, this is her right here. This was what she said. Vicky Salamini say that caregiving responsibilities, whether for children or elderly parents, consistently falls to women. That's what she said. Y'all done fought for women. The white women got y'all fighting for nothing. Because now they coming back and reneging on what they say. Because that's what women do. Women renege. They say one thing, and then 2 weeks later, they don't really feel that way no more. That's what they do. That's why men take over the household responsibility, has the last say so in a relationship, all that's considered toxic masculine. That's why. Because we know you're not going to feel the same way you're going to feel tomorrow. The way you feel right now and next week, you're going to be kind of changing your mind. Real talk. But yeah, let's drop that. Let's get into the scriptures and let's talk about masculinity in the Bible. Masculine spirits. Real talk. Since this go back to the Greeks and the Romans, let's go to one of my favorite scriptures, 1 Samuel 16:1. We're going to go all the way to 5, if I may. So like
Book of 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel?
Right. The Lord ain't even like that he was mourning for too long. This is a guy we say, I guess the Lord is toxic masculine. I guess so. Because Samuel King lost his throne, and Samuel was mourning because he was sad. And the Lord said, how long is you gonna mourn over this nigga? Real talk, man. Get up and, man, get on point.
Fill down the horn with oil and go.
Right.
And I will send thee to Jesse, the Bethlehemite.
Right. Now, oil, that's what we use. That's part of our culture for when you anoint somebody, you know, when they get like a promotion, what you would call it.
I have provided me a king amongst his sons.
Right. So he said, like, I forget Saul. He lost his throne. Go to Jesse. One of his sons is about to be the new king. Straight like that. You mourning him? I got something for you to do.
Verse 2. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me.
He will what?
He will kill me.
That's more toxic masculinity.
And the Lord said, take a heifer with thee and say, I come to sacrifice to the Lord.
Right. So Saul was going to kill him because he knew that that's what he was going to do, go find a new king if he left from around him. So he said, yeah, just take a cow, baby cow. That's a heifer. Take a baby cow and say you better go sacrifice it for the Lord.
Verse 3. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show thee what thou shalt do.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee.
Right. And that's basically trying to be slick because Saul was losing his throne. So he had to be slick about it. So now he's going to Bethlehem to look for Jesse and his sons. This is Samuel. Samuel is the high priest. You feel me? He's the high priest of Israel.
Verse 4. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake and came to Bethlehem.
Right. So now he's in Bethlehem, in the city, the town where King David and them live.
And the elders of the town trembled at his coming.
And what?
And the elders of the town trembled.
Now, this is the high priest. Now, I know when you see a priest nowadays, he look all soft and sweet. He wearing purple, saying he gets swallowed up. It's like it. I know. You see the alligator shoes, the Rolls Royce. That's what, when you see a priest nowadays, that's what you see. But that is not true. A real priest, when you see him, you're going to be scared. You're going to be trembling like, what the hell is going on? All you got to do is tune into the Passover, April 20th, 55th annual Passover, the very under command and honor, and you'll see a bunch of priests in there. And when you see them, you're going to be trembling. You feel? You might think you ain't going to make it out. You feel me? Real talk.
And said, comest thou peaceably.
When they sing Samuel, the elders, the people that's the wise people of the town, you feel me? The people that everybody respect, who they scared of. They seen Samuel and they were scared. And asked, do he come peacefully? You feel me? Real talk. Because that's just how we always roll. They said that time you can't rule over your house. That's toxic. You can't be aggressive. That's toxic. Well, they were scared of the high priest, and all he did was walk into the city because of the spirit, the vibe he gave off.
Verse 5. And he said peaceably, I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord.
Right. He said, okay, what are you talking about? I'm coming to sacrifice. He like, y'all, what y'all think I'm coming to kill somebody? Because that was his job. If he found out you was committing a sin, he had the right to kill you. Now we under Christ. Now we under Christ. And that's what the law being done away with is. That the Christians fumbled so much. That means we don't have the right to kill you for breaking the law because we all sinned. You feel me? Before. But it was a time where we live, which is coming back soon when Christ get here, where men is going to have the right to kill you for eating pork, for celebrating holidays, for being a faggot. It's a lot. Yeah, nah, you go there.
Sanctify yourself and come with me to the sacrifice.
Right, he say, come on, come with me. Y'all tripping, man. Come on, let y'all tripping. Come with me.
And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice.
Right, but the whole point is, all the man did was walk into the city. All he did was walk into the city and they were scared. That's real toxic masculinity. Because he ain't even say or do anything. They say, do you come peaceably? He like, peaceably? What are y'all even talking about? I'm coming to sacrifice. Because that's true masculinity right there. Real talk. So yeah, let's drop that. Let's go to Matthew 11 and 7.
book of Matthew chapter 11, verse 7. And they departed. Yahushua began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see?
Right. So John, what you gotta understand, John the Baptist, he was Christ's cousin. He paved the way for Christ. He fell weak because of power. But John the Baptist wasn't no joke. He was in the wilderness. You scared to sleep. You feel me? On the floor if you had to. This nigga was sleeping in the wilderness. He was in the woods.
A reed shaking with the wind?
Now that's like a weak stick that just go here, go there, just like Christians. Just like Muslims. One day Muslims don't eat pork, the next day they do. One day they selling bean pies, the one day they selling real pies. Yeah, that's talking about cocaine. People probably ain't catch that, you know. That's old school. You really? And people don't even know that that's what they used to call it. But yeah, though, real talk. Religions go this way, that way, wherever the people go. You feel me? And when they went to go see John, John was standing firm in what he believed. You feel me?
Verse 8. But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment?
Man, look, John the Baptist wore camel's hair and ate locusts. That ain't toxic. I don't know what it is. This is at the time. Now, this is at the time. You know, he was doing the Lord's work. You feel me? He was doing the Lord's work at this time. And like I said, he was wearing camel's hair, eating locusts and honey, living in the woods.
Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in the king's house.
Right. Those that wear soft clothing live in the king's house. You feel me? Those that wear soft clothing live in the king's house. Butlers. Yes men. You feel me? Not soldiers. Soldiers don't wear soft clothing. Soldiers live in the woods. Soldiers live in the hood. You feel me? They live in the ghetto, in the gutter. That's where they live. That's where they come from. You feel me? They don't live in the king's houses. They ain't up there with Biden, you know, wearing them soft ass suits and stuff like that. Real talk. So yeah, let's drop that. Let's go to Luke 19 and 21.
The book of Luke chapter 19, verse 21. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man.
Right. Now, Christ, what's going on, you can read this on your own time. But the whole point of this is he's giving a parable about himself. You feel me? And this is what they're saying about him, that he was an austere man. You feel me? Which means like firm. Somebody that's not to be played with. Christ was toxic masculine. He was an austere man, somebody that's not to be fucked with.
Thou takest up that thou layest not down.
Right, you take us up what thou layest not down. Because everything we do is for Christ. That's why we say Most High in Christ of everything. You bought some nice shoes, somebody say they look nice, you say Most High in Christ. Because you know it's the Most High in Christ that gave you the blessing to be able to go get those shoes or whatever you got, your house, your car, whatever you got, the wisdom you learned. It was because of the Most High in Christ. That's why I say thou takest up that you layest not down.
And reapest that thou didst not sow.
Right. Whatever you reaping belong to him. You think it belong to you, know it don't.
Verse 23. Wherefore then gave
22.
Verse 22. And saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant.
Right. He called them a wicked servant. Because they weren't doing no work. Because they were scared of him. So they weren't doing no work. They didn't want to lose the penny he got. I think he gave them a penny and told them to multiply it. And they didn't because they were scared that they was going to lose it. And he called them wicked because they didn't multiply the penny.
Thou knewest that I was an austere man.
Right. This is Christ saying this is a parable he's giving about himself. He's calling himself an austere man.
Taken up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow.
Right. So he's saying you knew I was a toxic masculine nigga. You still play with me?
Verse 23. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required my own use.
Right, that's interest. He's saying that why you didn't try to multiply it, knowing that I was coming, that I might not require interest. So you didn't even try to multiply it. What if I was going to charge interest? So now all you got is what I gave you. You feel me? And he basically saying you weak. You weak for not multiplying the penny because you were scared of me. You were scared to lose it. Real talk. That's Christ in the New Testament. I don't know what the hell Christ y'all be reading about, but this Christ that we read about ain't no joke. The Christ you read about ain't even real. That's something that your pastor made up. Real talk. So yeah, you could drop that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6:2.
Come. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. Do ye not know that the saints will judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are you unworthy to judge the smallest matter?
Right, now the point is this. You was taught that you couldn't judge. You feel me? But when you don't understand that the judgment that they talking about is murder, you feel me? Us telling you to stop being a sinner, that's a form of judging you. You feel me? But they say, nah, you can't judge me. Only God can judge me. You a fool. You a fool if you think only God can judge you. Because you know God ain't coming out the sky to tell you to put the weed down. You feel me? To put the cigarettes down. Put down the black and miles. Stop fucking with them hoes. Stop being a whore. You feel me? Stop selling drugs. You know that's not going to happen. You feel me? And the saints shall judge the world. You know what saints is? Them is sinners that repented. Sinners that repented that's the definition of a saint. And they shall judge the world. And they perfect for judging the world too, because they live that life. And they know the outcome of it. Real talk. So yeah, you could drop that. Let's go to Psalms 137:4.
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 4. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Real talk. That's why we say we don't stand for the national anthem. National anthem, none of that stuff. You feel me? We don't stand for none of that stuff. None of the national anthem, none of that stuff. Because we can't even sing our song because we in a strange land. So why the hell would we sing theirs? They talking about some of the black national anthem and all that shit. Fuck a black national anthem. We need a black nation. Real talk. You go ahead.
Verse 5. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand be for her coming.
Right, and that's the thing. A lot of us, we forgot Jerusalem. We forgot our homeland. You feel me? And King David said, if I forget Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. Forget how to fight. Your right hand is the hand of might. He said, let me forget how to fight. If I forget Jerusalem, and that ain't toxic. I don't know what is. You feel me? You won't fight for nothing nowadays. He said, if I forget my homeland, let my right hand forget how to fight. Real time. I remember I was talking to that about my son. He was actually like, told me to point to it on a map. And I showed him where Jerusalem was at. He said, that's where we from. I said, yeah, that's where we at. That's where we from. That's where we gonna be at soon. Real talk. But a lot of people forgot Jerusalem. But they fighting for America. Real talk, like Jay-Z. He said, forget Kaepernick. Let's move forward from that because they gave him a job. A lot of people forgot Jerusalem. But King David said, if I forget Jerusalem, let me forget how to fight. That's basically what he's saying. Let me forget how to fight if I forget Jerusalem. Yeah, so let's drop that. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians 2:11.
The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12. That they all might be damned who believe not in the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness.
Right, and that's the thing. That's the thing about toxic masculinity. A man that's toxic and masculine ain't gonna let you have pleasure in unrighteousness. Ain't gonna let you believe a lie. Women out here is believing a lie. They did all the feminist movement, all the women's rights to work and all that stuff just for a pandemic to happen, and 48% of them said they ain't going back to work. 48% of them said I ain't really going back because you believe a lie. But if you had a man in your life, he would have told you, you feel me, it's better off y'all stay in the position y'all was at. Because during that time, men was making enough money that women did not have to work. So y'all fought for the right to work. Inflation went through the roof. You feel me? And now we need 2-parent households.
Right.
Just to pay the bills. Just to pay the bills. When that was not so until the feminist movement, which is what toxic masculinity, misogyny come from. They push those words in your brain, and now you don't even want to work. Real talk, because you want to believe a lie. There you go, man.
It's crazy because women fought for the right for equality, equal pay, and all these things. But then now today they say a man isn't traditional and can't be a provider because he doesn't want to pay all the bills. Well, what the hell was you fighting for equality for?
Right.
What the hell was you fighting for equal pay for?
Right. That's crazy.
Now you want to be independent? Make your goddamn mind up.
Right. They killed me in the tax time. They found head of household.
Right. And
that killed me.
all the children as well.
Yeah, and all the kids. They don't even want to split it up. But it's so heavy because the scriptures say God shall send a strong delusion. A lot of these women is delusional. That's what it is. They delusional. You feel me? They don't even know what they doing. They out marching and riding and looting. Don't even know what they doing it for. They out voting. Don't even know who they voting for. What's the purpose? The agenda is destroying your life. You don't even know it. Like, real talk. So let's drop that. Let's go to Acts 16:20.
Book of Acts chapter 16, verse 20. And brought them to the magistrate, saying, these men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city.
Right now, magistrates is officers. Officers that was over that city. You hear me? Brought the Jews and said they exceedingly trouble our city. You know who doing that right now? ISUPK. Because we troublemakers. And we exceedingly trouble all these cities. You hear me? We trouble all these cities because everybody just want everything to be okay. Everybody to agree with whatever the agenda is, whatever America say the agenda is, and we will not. You hear me? We true followers of Christ. I don't know what New Testament that the Christians, I did not grow up in the Christian church, but whatever they saying has to be philosophy. What it was, Martin Luther King went to college for systematic theology. It got to be something, because ain't no way the Christians reading the same New Testament that I read, because the New Testament that I read say, and brought them to the magistrates saying, these men being Jews do exceedingly trouble our city. Trouble the city. That's what Paul, Peter, and all of them was doing. They men was troubling the city with the truth. You go ahead. We went on to 22.
Verse 21. And teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe being Roman.
Right. So what they was teaching wasn't lawful for them to receive or observe if you was a Roman. And just like, and what is Rome today? America. America is Rome now. It's an off-brand of the Roman Empire, just like Europe and all the rest of them. Real talk. And the same thing we teach is really not lawful in America. Pork is legal. You don't eat pork, they look at you crazy. Like it's a law against it. We tell you that being LGBTQ is wrong, they look at us like it's a law against it. Like it's a law against you not believing it. When that's not true. We tell you a man can have more than one wife, they look at us like we got 3 horns coming out of our head. Like it's a law against it. Because they Romans. They don't believe in Christ. They don't believe in the Bible. They believe in Rome, in Greece, Babylon, which is all America is. That's why it's called Babylon the Great, because it's all them nations wrapped up in one. That's why when we say what we believe, they look at us like we telling something that's unlawful. You go to court, they're going to bring up the school. They're going to bring up the truth. Like it's unlawful or something to be in the truth, to believe in the Bible. Because in America, they don't believe in the Bible. They swear in on it, but they don't believe in it. Real talk, you go ahead.
Come, verse 22. And the multitude rose up together against them, and the magistrates rent off their clothes and commanded to beat them.
Right, and the officers rent off their clothes, and they commanded to beat them because they were standing strong for the truth. Because they were standing strong for the truth and what they believed in. They got beat for it. That ain't toxic. I don't know what it is. I don't know what toxic is if that ain't toxic. No, that's all we wanted was 22. But yeah, they commanded to beat them, the Jews that was troubling the city. And they troubled the city about they were just teaching the truth. They weren't selling drugs. If they were selling drugs, they would have been fine. You feel me? But if they was pimping, they would have been all right. Rome was filled with lust. It wasn't filled with the truth. So you teaching the truth was a sin in Rome. So you would drop that. Let's go to 1 Kings 19 and 9.
Come. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 19, verse 9. And he came thither unto a cave and lies there. And behold,
Hold on, wait. He did what?
He came thither unto a cave.
To a cave? He didn't go to the 5-star hotel? He didn't go to the Ritz-Carlton?
What?
The Go House? He didn't even go to Motel 6. He went to a cave? You know who Elijah was? Elijah in the New Testament is John the Baptist. In the Old Testament, he was in a cave. In the New Testament, he was in the wilderness. He was in the woods. This is how he rode, I guess. It's a lot here. But yeah, and he lodged there. I mean, that's where he was staying at. He was staying at not at a hotel, he was staying in the cave.
And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, and he answered unto him, What doest thou here, Elijah? So
the word of the Lord ain't coming to the pastors, alligator shoes, mansion, Rolls Royce. It ain't going to the Pharisees. It's going to a man living in a cave. Because that's where you're going to learn the Bible from. You thought that you was going to learn the Bible from some pastor or preacher in some mega church, in some coliseum. You're going to learn the Bible from somebody that look like he's teaching in a goddamn cave. You're going to see a brother teaching the Bible in a library, in a small room, in a building that you don't even think the priest would ever step foot in a goddamn cave. Real talk.
Verse 10, and he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts.
Right, so he's in a cave because he was jealous for the Lord God. That's what happened. When you be jealous for the Lord God, you end up in a cave. You're going to end up ridiculed. You're going to be on a run because you jealous, because you love the Lord over these fake gods and religions.
For the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant.
Right, they feminists. You hear me? They feminists. They LGBT. They Christians. They all that. They forsaken the covenant.
Thrown down thine altars and slain thy prophets.
They thrown down the altars. You hear me? And they slain the prophet. They killing the prophets, man.
And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away.
Right, man. That's for real. That's the prophets for real. Ain't no purple. Ain't no Colosseums. Ain't no Potter House. Ain't no House of Hope. Ain't none of that. They living in a cave. Running on the run. People trying to kill them for just teaching the truth. You gotta be toxic masculine if you want to be a prophet of God. You better be, or you in the wrong place. What Christ say, them that wear soft raiment live in king's houses. See, let's drop that. Let's go to Acts 12 and 5.
Come. Book of Acts chapter 12 verse 5. Peter therefore was kept in prison.
He was in what?
Peter was therefore kept in prison.
He was in jail. Peter went to jail. He was the rock. Christ said he was going to be the rock. When Christ left, everything was passed over to Peter. And he was in prison.
But prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him.
Mm-hmm. Went all the way to 7.
Verse 6. And when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with 2 chains.
Mm-hmm. He handcuffed up.
And the keepers before the door kept the prison. Verse 7. And behold, the angel of the Lord came unto him, and a light shined in the prison.
I guess that's what Malcolm X get that from in the movie where he was in jail and he talked about a light shine on me. And it was Elijah Muhammad. He got that out the Bible. They talking about Salaki. They done plagiarized the whole Bible. Salaki. Hell no.
And he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, arise up quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And his chains fell from his hand.
Right. Peter was a jailbird. He was in and out of prison for teaching the truth, though. He was in and out of prison. Real talk. Prophet of God. Wasn't no good boy, hoping everything be all right. He was in and out of jail. So let's drop that. Let's go to Acts 7 and 51.
The book of Acts chapter 7, verse 51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears.
Now this Stephen, he was a prophet that rolled with Paul and all them. Not Paul, but Peter and all them, if I ain't mistaken. But yeah, he called them stiff-necked and uncircumcised. That's what he called. Yeah, it wasn't Paul. Paul was still a Pharisee at this time. He was rolling with Peter and them. And he said, ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised. You feel me? Which means y'all don't want to change. He talking to his people. The Pharisees was his people. You feel me? They just didn't want to lose their rulership, where they money, basically. Just like the Christians, The politicians, all of them know what we say is the truth. The athletes, everybody know what we say is the truth, but they don't want to lose their money because they stick neck and they uncircumcised in the heart and ears.
Ye do always resist the Holy Spirit.
Right. They resist the Holy Spirit because of money. They could care less whether it's the truth or not. They don't care. They worry about serving the Romans. Just like right now, the politicians, the athletes, the rappers, all that, they worry about serving the Romans, which is the Americans.
Ye do always resist the Holy Spirit did, so do ye.
Right. Just like your fathers did. The same way your fathers were sinners, now you a sinner.
Verse 52. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted?
Right. Your fathers did the same thing. Y'all doing it to me right now.
And they have slain them which show before of the coming of the just one.
Talking about Christ.
Of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers.
Right. So he said, y'all betrayers and murderers. You feel me? Y'all killed Christ. Y'all did it. Pilate asked y'all, who should I kill, Barabbas or Christ? Y'all said Christ. Y'all wanted them to kill Christ because Christ was going to take away y'all money. Oh, yeah, let's drop down to 57.
Verse 57. Then they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and ran upon him with one accord.
Right. And you ever been in a battle with some Christians and you start cutting them and they like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Put the Bible down. Now they start saying the Bible ain't even real. That's what a Christian will tell you. You cut a Christian too bad, they're going to tell you the Bible ain't real. They don't care about, they don't believe in the Bible. That's what they'll tell you. And that's what they was doing, the Pharisees. They was getting cut to where they stopped their ears. They put their hands up to their ears and ran towards him. They didn't want to hear the words he was using to cut them in everything they've done and believed.
Verse 58. And cast them out of the city.
Right, and they took him out of the city because it was illegal to kill an Israelite in Israel. It was illegal. You had to, I think, kill anybody. You had to take them outside the city.
And stone him. And the witness laid down their clothes at the young man's feet, whose name was Saul.
Right, Saul. Now that's Paul. Paul witnessed this happen. You feel me? Paul witnessed them killing Stephen for no reason. You feel me? For no reason, Paul witnessed this. You feel me? They killing Stephen just because he was cutting them left and right. We're going all the way to 60.
Verse 59. And they stoned Stephen.
Right, and they killed him. Stone, that means when they bury a hole up and they dig it and they put you in it up to your neck. Only thing sticking out of the hole is your neck and your head. And they throw bricks at your face until you die. That's what they did to Stephen. And all he did was just tell him the truth. That's all he did. Just like all we do in ISUPK is just tell you the truth. And they want to kill us, whether it's our reputation, you feel me, or physically. Real talk, just because we're telling you the truth.
Calling upon God and saying, Lord Yahweh shall receive my spirit.
Right, he ready to die. Stephen was ready to die for the truth. And that's why they say we toxic masculinity UPK. Because really, we just ready to die for the truth. We ain't standing for no national anthem. We ain't letting our kids stand for no national anthem. We don't celebrate holidays. We don't care if the woman care. The woman gonna leave us. That means nothing. We're ready to lose whatever we can lose because of the truth. And that's what Stephen did. And that was toxic masculinity, real talk.
Verse 60. And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Lord, lay not this sin to their charge.
And then he even had sympathy for them. He said, lay not the sin on their charge. Lay not, because he know that without the Romans pushing this agenda and this lust for money, they wouldn't do this.
And when he had said this, he fell asleep.
So after they killed him, he still prayed for them. He prayed that the Lord have mercy on them. Real talk. Yeah, but that's the end of tonight's class. Tune in every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tune in Wednesday night, 9 o'clock for the podcast. every other Sunday for what you ain't learned in history class. Hey, shalom, Israel.